actually, it's funny. I was talking to a source who works in Cleveland. He's new. Obviously, the staff is new, but I was asking him, "Hey, how should we expect the Browns to kind of start off this year?" And he really downplayed everything and was like, "Well, I'm not really sure. We'll see how it goes." Like, was just kind of negative. And so then I texted him yesterday, and I was like, "Wow, you weren't kidding about being slow out of the gates." And he was like, "Yeah, I've seen this coming for a while." So I don't know if it's necessarily anything to say about the new staff at all because it's too soon. It's just I mean, they just inherit so many loads of issues when it comes to Cleveland. And the thing that I kept thinking about is, are the Giants really going to look good for this Odell trade? Like, I mean, maybe they already look good. I don't know. That's something we can debate about. But depending on how this season goes, and it's so interesting because if Odell was the level of player that everyone thinks he is, like, I just feel like he should be elevating this offense in a way that we really haven't seen from him. So it makes me wonder, is just Cleveland being Cleveland the problem, or is he part of the problem? I don't know. It's too early to say, but it is fascinating.
On Odell, quickly, if people, because they might have only been watching this on Red Zone, aren't aware of how his first half went, it was 2 targets, which was a 5-yard catch, a drop, and then he had to go into the locker room early to get an IV because he hates water. The whole thing is bizarre.
I forgot that he hated water too. I forgot about that.
I had to double check that was true because I remembered it during the show.
Yeah, he did. He definitely had an IV.
He hated water, and yet he had to have an IV at halftime during this game as well.
You know what Nuke Hopkins did in his new uniform in Arizona, and you compare that.
Right.
Hopkins is all. Why is I don't understand how a player of Nuke's ability can go to Arizona and 16 targets, 14 catches, game-winning touchdown, or at least get down to the 1-yard line. Performs brilliantly in a wide-open offense with Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald and everybody and Kenyon Drake. Whereas it should be set up perfectly for Beckham to have 110 catches for about 1,800 yards, and yet he just, I don't know. There's just this disconnect that's fascinating.
I mean, I think they have to trade him. It's just not working. And
who's trading for him?
Well, I mean, I think he reminds me massively of the Randy Moss situation when he was with the Raiders, where you know that this guy has got insane talent. He's not as talented as Randy Moss, I would say that up front. But you've not seen it now. For when was the last time he was really good? I mean, you're talking 2.5, 3 years. I think it needs to be the kind of situation that engages him, and that is a pairing with either a great coach or a great quarterback who can get him on track. But to me, you look at what's happened in Jacksonville and the way that actually we think maybe they're going to be better than we thought because they cleaned up the culture and got out the guys who were kind of the problem children. It strikes me that might need to happen in Cleveland, because I also worry massively about the impact he has on Mayfield. I think Mayfield is salvageable at this stage of his career, but I don't think that them two as a mix is right when you're trying to create a new culture in an organisation.
The one possible benefit for him getting traded, is that 14.25 as a cap hit this year is not the end of the world, but also he's cuttable for nothing from next year onwards. Yeah. So if you can get him for a mid-round pick, might not be worth your while.
The Baker Mayfield question is one of the most fascinating. And again, urge caution on, the world is collapsing after week 1, but this is now almost becoming a historically bad run for Baker in terms of, you look at what happened last year. And I think last year you could blame some of the off-the-field issues, and maybe after winning Rookie of the Year, it all got to his head, all the adverts, all the hype that the Browns were going to go to the playoffs. But where was the excuse for, this was a different Baker Mayfield, apparently.
Yeah.
And he just, I mean, he looked really, really bad. And there is not a paucity of weapons on that. The line is better, but you look at Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, David Njoku. They've got really, really good skill talent players, and yet it just seems to not be working for him. And at some point, you're going to have to ask the question: are the Browns in the race for Trevor Lawrence?